You've seen someone laugh when they were hurting. Maybe a friend, maybe a stranger, maybe yourself. And you didn't know what to think. Is this normal? Is this cold? Is this even human? Today I'm going to tell you something that nobody says out loud. Something scientists have known for years, but never made it past the research papers. And after this, you will never look at someone else's smile the same way again. This laughter is not a quirk. It's not a nervous tic. And it's not a defense mechanism in the way you've been taught to think about it. This is an ancient signal, one of the most honest signals the human body can send. When someone laughs in a moment of pain, their nervous system is doing something so complex, so layered, that scientists couldn't explain it for decades. This is not weakness. This is not pretending. This is one of the last lines of defense the human mind has. And in each of us, it works a little differently, because each of us, at some point, learned to survive exactly this way. Most people assume someone who laughs through pain just doesn't want to show weakness. A mask, armor, they're hiding their feelings. That sounds clean. It sounds convenient. And it is almost completely wrong. Because if it were just a mask, the person could take it off. They could consciously decide, right now, I'm going to let myself cry. And that would be it. End of story. But no. This laughter erupts before a thought is even formed, before consciousness has a chance to catch up. The body is already laughing, and the mind hasn't even had time to ask, why? This is not a mask. This is a reflex, as involuntary as pulling your hand away from fire. And this is where the real story begins. In 2009, researchers at the University of California, Los Angeles, began studying people in states of acute stress. Not anxiety. Acute, sudden stress. Loss, shock, physical pain. They expected to see tears, numbness, aggression, the classic responses described in every psychology textbook. What they found surprised everyone. Nearly 1/3 of subjects displayed clear facial expressions associated with positive emotions. Smiling, laughter, sometimes something that looked almost like joy. And yet their physiological readings, heart rate, cortisol, activity in the amygdala, told the opposite story. The body was screaming danger, but the face was smiling. The researchers called this affective dissonance, but that label didn't explain why. That's when Stanford stepped in. Neuroscientists led by Professor James Gross, one of the world's foremost experts in emotional regulation, began scanning the brains of people in the middle of this dissonance. And what they saw was extraordinary. In the moment when a person laughs through pain, two systems activate in the brain simultaneously, systems that under normal circumstances never fire together. The threat system, the amygdala, the hypothalamus, the entire survival apparatus, and the reward system, the same one that activates when we feel safe, when we feel good, when we feel like we belong. The brain is literally doing two opposite things at the same time. And here is why. When pain is too great, the brain cannot process it directly. It's like a system overload, too much information in too little time. And so, automatically, without the person's permission, an emergency protocol engages. The brain begins generating the opposite signal, not to pretend, not to deceive, but because it is the only way to avoid collapse right now. Laughter in this moment is literally an injection, internal, self-produced. It triggers a release of endorphins. It lowers cortisol. It gives the nervous system a few seconds of breathing room, so it can reorganize, and begin processing the pain for real. This is not an escape from reality. This is a temporary buffer between the impact and the breakdown. Think of it this way. You're driving at full speed, and there's a wall ahead. You have an airbag. It doesn't save you from the crash. It gives your body a fraction of a second to prepare for the impact. Laughter through pain is the mind's airbag. And this is where things get even stranger. Because this mechanism doesn't work the same way in everyone. Some people, it fires almost every time, with any kind of pain, physical, emotional, social. They laugh at funerals. They laugh when someone leaves them. They laugh when a doctor delivers devastating news. And then there are people, in whom it never fires at all, who cry immediately, openly, completely. For a long time, scientists assumed the second group was healthier, that laughing through pain was a pathology, a sign of emotional immaturity. But research from the last decade turned that idea completely upside down. In 2017, at Harvard Medical School, researchers conducted an experiment that became one of the most discussed studies in social psychology that year. They recruited 120 volunteers, different ages, different backgrounds. Each one was asked to watch a video with emotionally heavy content, loss, grief, separation, and then immediately speak with a stranger about what they had just felt. The researchers monitored facial expressions, vocal patterns, body language, and most importantly, the reactions of the listeners. Here is what they found. People who smiled or laughed during their account, even while describing something painful, were rated by their conversation partners as significantly more genuine, more open, more trustworthy. Not less, more. Because that laughter, uncontrollable, surfacing at the most inconvenient moment, is read by other people at a subconscious level as a signal. I am not performing. This is actually hard for me. So hard that my body has stopped taking orders. This is one of the most honest signals of vulnerability that exists in human communication. And most of us never knew that. Stop for a moment. Think of someone you know, or think of yourself, who laughed through pain. And remember what you thought at the time. Strange, inappropriate. Maybe it doesn't hurt as much as they're letting on. Now you know the truth. That laughter meant the exact opposite. That was a person in so much pain that their mind had switched into emergency mode. That was someone at their limit, someone holding on with everything they had, and their body, without asking permission, was trying to help them. You are not just watching this from the outside. You are part of this. Every time you misread someone's laughter, you missed the most honest moment they ever showed you. And somewhere along the way, someone probably misread yours too. But there's another layer, and it goes deeper than neuroscience. Research in developmental psychology, particularly the work of Mary Ainsworth and her successors on attachment theory, revealed the following. Children who grew up in environments where expressing pain openly was not safe, where crying meant being punished, or ignored, or mocked. These children trained their brains to use exactly this protocol. Laugh instead of cry. Not because they wanted to, but because that was how they survived. And that pattern, learned once in childhood, stays with a person for the rest of their life. It becomes wired into the nervous system so deeply that it no longer feels like a choice. It just is. And here is what is truly heartbreaking. The person who laughs through pain often has no idea they're doing it. They don't understand why people look at them strangely. They don't know that their body just said out loud, the most honest thing they've ever communicated. And the people around them think they must be fine, and they walk away. Now that you know this, you will see it everywhere. At work, when a colleague laughs while describing a problem that is clearly destroying them. In your family, when someone smiles while talking about a loss. In a friend who laughs while telling you a story. That actually broke them. And now you have a choice you didn't have before. You can do what most people don't. You can stop, stay, not decide. They're laughing, so everything must be okay. But instead say, wait, tell me that again, slower. Because laughter through pain is not a signal that says everything is fine. It's a signal that says, I need help, but I don't know how to ask for it. And if you learn to read it, you will become one of the rare people who truly hear others. Not the words, not the expression, but what lives underneath. We live in a world that taught us to fear vulnerability, to hide it, to wrap it in smiles and laughter, in I'm fine and just tired. And sometimes the body does exactly what we trained it to do, a little too well. But here is the truth. Every person who has ever laughed through pain was in that moment, completely real. More real than if they had stood there stone-faced, saying the right words. Their mind did everything it knew how to do, to keep them from breaking apart, right then and there. And if you were standing next to someone like that, and you didn't understand, now you do. And if you yourself have ever laughed, when you were hurting, know this. It is not weakness. It is not strangeness. It is how you survived. And that deserves not judgment. It deserves gentleness. Here is the question I want to leave you with. Think of the last time you laughed, and nothing was funny at all. What was really happening in that moment? Write it in the comments. Not for the algorithm, but because sometimes saying it out loud for the first time changes something. And if this video moved something inside you, send it to someone you once misunderstood. No words needed. Just send it. In the next video, we go even deeper. I'm going to show you another signal, one that people send constantly, without ever knowing it. A signal that says, I am losing control, but looks exactly like ordinary politeness. You see it every day, in lines, in elevators, in conversations with people you assume are happy. After the next video, you won't be able to unsee it. See you there.